Hi. I hadn't planned this one. Um, I wanted to talk about dementia, being a caregiver for someone with dementia. And this is just going to be a very rough intro. If I were to come into your house and all I know on my paperwork is that someone is living with dementia, when I see that in the record, it tells me nothing because there are a lot of stages in this, and there are a lot of different things that can cause dementia. So I don't always know. Sometimes people have a diagnosis and a neurological diagnosis, and sometimes they do not. In my opinion, it is worth pursuing a diagnosis beyond dementia, which is really a symptom of these other diseases. And they are a little bit different, and they can present a little bit differently. And some things can be treated with medications and some can't. And so it's good to have that. I've had a number of people in the last year or two who have finally made it in to see a neurologist, and they do not get a lot of information, which is unfortunate. There is something called the Global Deterioration Scale, and that lists 7 stages of dementia. The last time I looked at the Alzheimer's page, they had 5. There is an amazing occupational therapist and advocate named Teepa Snow, Teepa. She has a classification system that is her own, that focuses more on what patients are capable of. The others are looking at what is getting lost over time. Most people when they get diagnosed are maybe at a 2 or 3 and possibly 4 out of 7 by the time they get diagnosed. To me, with the resources that I have going into houses, I'm not always trying to figure out exactly what stage someone is. But there are some things that will become evident or that I want to know. But let's start at the beginning. Usually, we can say people are going to have sensory changes. Patients will lose peripheral vision, which means a lot of things. It means when they are turning to go around a doorway, are they safe? Is their walker clearing the doorway? You want them to drink more water. You are constantly telling them to drink more water. And where is the glass? It's over here on the table. They can't see it. And then it doesn't exist. Okay? Processing changes with their hearing, and they might hear only 1 in 4 words you say. So someone can come in and say, "Hi, how are you?" And the patient goes, "Hi, how are you doing?" And then someone starts talking too fast, like it's a foreign language. And then the patient is not quite able to keep up. So we want to make that easier for them. And put those things together. And it means that I'm not going to start talking to somebody as I'm walking in the door. I'm going to come up to the patient. I'm going to be at their eye level. And I'm going to say, "Hi, how are you?" And when I talk to them, I will do a little bit of what I am doing now, but a little bit more. I slow down a little, and I enunciate, and I have little pauses built in for them to catch up with their hearing, and maybe a little bit more modulation in my voice to help them. I won't come up from behind. I don't want to startle them. I won't come up from behind and put a hand on their shoulder. I have 2 visuals for you. I feel that people with dementia as they advance, are starting the day with a full tower from the game Jenga. Do you know that game? All the wooden blocks, you pull a block out and see if the tower crumbles. They start the day with a full tower. And every time we say, no, I told you that. No, we went to the doctor yesterday. No. You're taking a block out of the tower. And then suddenly it's later in the day and they don't want to get out of those dirty clothes and they might put up a fight. And you feel like that is coming out of nowhere. But to them, it is the Jenga tower having trouble. And sometimes it's like bars on a cell phone. Sometimes they have 5 bars and sometimes they don't. When people ask me the hardest part of my job, it is when a family member wants to stand in the room while I am treating a patient with dementia and say to both of us, she's just lazy. She could do it. He knows what day it is. Yesterday he told me it was Tuesday. Yesterday he knew what day it is. And today he doesn't. And that is not surprising to me. And also, please do not ever speak to or about my patients to me that way. We are working on what that patient can do. Okay. My high horse. I don't want to make this too long. We're going to do it in different things. But first, there are sensory changes. We have the ability to help them through these sensory changes and to help them through their day. We are trying to get through the day with less conflict. Life will be better. I mean, generally, right? And the last thing I'm going to say is no quizzing. Do you remember my name? Why are they going to remember your name? You don't know. I come into every house and I say, hi, I'm Martha. And if they say, I know you, I say, oh, I was here last week. I totally forgot. I'm not going to expect them to remember. Where did we go? What's his name? What's up? It's mean. I know you're trying to help. You want to get them talking about things, but flat out quizzing to people who are losing their memory, that's not nice. Not nice. You are making them doubt everything. Because if their reality is that they went to the doctor this morning and you say, no, but they did. They know. And then they might not trust you. Because you're saying something that isn't true, not them. And if you really keep it up, they might not trust themselves. And that's not a good place to be. So no quizzing. There are other ways to get people talking, which we will talk about in, I think, maybe the next video. You can ask open-ended questions to get them talking. Oh, where did you work when you were first married? What did you do? I was thinking of making those muffins you like. What do I need to put in those? You can get them talking. But not, Ma, I'm going to make those muffins. Do you remember? Do you remember the muffins you used to make before school? What'd you put in them? Not helpful. Let's be nice. Okay? This is just a start because I just came from a house and it's on my mind. I'll make another. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Thanks.